Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we discuss what I learned this Sunday watching all the NFL games because the Eagles played Thursday, so I got to watch the landscape of the NFL, and I learned a lot. One, Jalen Hurts is the MVP. Sorry, Josh Allen. Two, the Bills and the Chiefs are not better than the Eagles. Lastly, I see that Indianapolis fired Frank Reich. I've been keeping my eye on Tennessee for A.J. Brown, and because we play him. And last but not least, Washington, who's our next opponent. Almost beat the Vikings. We discuss all that up next.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we scream and fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today, we got some things to talk about. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, if y'all learn a lot of stuff too this Sunday, help your boy out and hit that like button. It's free, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, ding that bell. We trying to grow notification gang. And last but not least, check out the link in the description. It's a free app called the Chalkboard app, like a Discord, and it's now out for Android and iPhone users. We talk Eagle news behind the YouTube scenes 24/7, almost 400 people in there. Check it out. Let's get into my first take, and that is Jalen Hurts, to me, is the MVP through 9 weeks. We're halfway. Things can change. But Josh Allen's performance catapults Jalen Hurts up there in my eyes. Mahomes didn't have a good game either, but I didn't think he was number one. I thought it was Allen, and now I do not think it is Allen no more. Josh Allen, in a loss, was 18-34, 205 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, took 5 sacks, and had a rating of 46.8. Now, I do credit him keeping him in the game with his legs, 2 rushing touchdowns and 86 yards. But y'all tell me that don't count. I believe it does. Now, we know that Allen has thrown a lot of touchdown passes throughout this season, but the Bills' schedule, minus playing the Chiefs, has been as easy, if not easier, via some of the records, than the Eagles' schedule. We get knocked for it. The Bills don't. The Rams are not good. They are now 3-5. The teams that were once good, the Bills beat the Packers and the Rams. You see them, you think they're good, but they're cheeks. Rams are 3-5. The Packers are like 3-6. They lost to the Lions. The Bills' schedule has been easy as the Eagles, if not easier. Now again, Mahomes was bad. I think both of them took a little hurt piece, no pun intended. And Jalen Hurts, through the midway point, is the MVP of the league. No if, and, or buts through my eyes. Now, when I look at the Chiefs game real quick, the Titans tied with the Chiefs without a wide receiver catching a pass all game. It went to overtime, and Mahomes and the Chiefs did their thing. They won. Cool. The Titans got their problem. We play them soon. There is one thing that the Titans do very, very well that we got to be worried about, and I tweeted this last night at 9:59 p.m. Eagles game plan versus Derrick Henry when we play the Titans. This is what it needs to be. Engage 8 for all my Madden players. Now, the funny thing is, shout out to Thomas R. Peterson. He said what the actual game plan is going to look like is a zone. 1, 2, 3, 4 people blitzing, and everybody dropping back. Somebody else said it's even going to be worse. Somebody else put this. All right, I'll take this. Another blitz, we're all having fun. But somebody put the craziest zone. I can't find it. Now it's going to look like I can't find it. It is what it is. But y'all know what I mean. That was my take. Watching Derrick Henry just run through people. Seeing what Damon Pierce did us, I said, we got to do something like this. Now, will Gannon do it? Find out on the next episode of Gannon Ball Z. Pause. Just kidding. But we got a game plan for Derrick Henry. But we can't do that now. Even though Derrick Henry's a beast and we can't stop the run without Jordan Davis thus far in the first game, we got to worry about Washington, who played a tough game against the Vikings. We'll get to that. Now, the Colts, They don't look as soft anymore. I mean, they look even softer, firing their head coach, former OC, Super Bowl winning OC, Frank Reich. And there's already murmurs, should he come to Philly next year? Should he come to Philly? We'll talk about that. But A.J. Brown is not going to allow the Eagles to lose to Tennessee Titans. Even though Washington's up next, I got to talk about A.J. Brown watching. And the broadcast did this. The broadcast put this up. Wide receivers in 2022, catches, 51 for all the Titans wide receivers, 43 for A.J. Brown. 658 yards for all the Titans wide receivers, 718 for A.J. Brown. The Titan wide receivers have 1 touchdown, A.J. got 6. So what did A.J. Brown say? Oh, wow, that's me? He's watching the game. The broadcast is hyping him up. And then he tweeted another thing talking about nobody's open. You know what his handle is, 1K always open. And he's clowning that the Titans have no receiver wide open. Now, Titan fans are all saying, blah, blah, blah. We live rent-free in your head. But if he's tweeting this and y'all responding right away, that means y'all still following him. Y'all still following him. And y'all didn't have a receiver catch a ball all game. I don't know about OT. I fell asleep. It was boring. I saw what Henry could do. That's what I wanted to see. It is what it is. You got to love it. A.J. Brown is going to have one of his best games, and they already had a $155 and a $156. He might drop a 200 piece on the Titans for all that smoke they've been talking. Now, this is not a shocker. Frank Reich fired. The Colts are horrible. Carson Wentz ruins another franchise. He didn't ruin it this year, but he was the piece. Frank Reich went out and traded stuff for him. That didn't work. Then they had to get Matt Ryan. That didn't work, and out goes Frank Reich. I'm sticking with Shane Steichen. If Shane Steichen gets another job next year, then maybe you talk about Sirianni bringing him in as an OC. Maybe. But why am I going to talk about what we got to do next year when the Eagles are 8-0 and the offense looks good? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try to fix nothing now. We'll talk about that in the offseason. We are a Super Bowl favorite. Let's act like it and stay in the moment. Frank Reich, love what you do with Philly. Sorry. Maybe you got a spot in Philly next year, maybe not. Now, as I look at the Washington Commanders, I watched that game too, right? Talked about Josh Allen, but the Bills team in general. Watching the Bills, watching the Chiefs. I said this in the live stream with LB. I think it was prior to these games, not in any order. The Bills, Chiefs, Eagles. Them 3 teams are separated from the rest of the NFL. Then you got the Vikings, and then you got the Cowboys, then you got the Ravens, you got the blah, blah, blah. I'm mixing AFC and NFC. That's what I said. Bills and Chiefs are not better than the Eagles. They are not. They are not. But now I want to get back to what we need to focus on throughout this week. And it's not the Titans, although keep them in the back of your head. It's not the Colts losing Frank Reich, even though you just monitor that situation. Should be a very, very easy game against Indianapolis. But we got the Washington football team coming, who was 4-4, lost a close game to the Commanders. They lost a close one. Midway, I said bleep it. Now, the Commanders were beating the Vikings 17-7. That's when I said bleep it. I want the Commanders to beat the Vikings to reinsure that number 1 spot for the Eagles. Now, people commenting, we got the tiebreaker. We're already number 1. I understand that. But there's 9 games left. Or there's what? We're 8-0. There's still 8-17. There's still, like I said, 9 games left. 9 games left. With that being said, what if we lose 2 or 3 and the Vikings continue to win? There's an opportunity with them being a game and a half behind us that if we lose 2 games, now do I really see it happening? Not really. But if it happens, my thing is I want to start seeing the Vikings lose games. Because right now, in order, it's the Vikings behind us by a game and a half. It's the Cowboys behind us by 2.5 games. But a game or 2 here, the Vikings keep winning. And then, now we're going down to the wire for that number 1 spot. I want to go through Philly all the way to the Super Bowl. So I need the Vikings to lose. However, the Vikings came back and beat the Commanders. Now, what I want to know, and I want to get your information too, leave your comments, leave your thoughts about this. Did the Vikings play bad? Or did the Commanders play good enough to only lose by a last-second field goal? This ain't the Carson Wentz team. I'm not scared of Tyler Heineke, but he gives him a better chance. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to show that he can beat a guy for the Washington Commanders or another team. Carson done lost his job probably once again because they've been playing more inspired football under Tyler Heineke. Do I think they're going to beat us? No. We will be breaking down the game throughout this week, but I did see a more resilient Washington team through the first 3 quarters. But the Vikings found something that worked, and boom, boom, boom. Once upon a time, 17-7. Now it's 20-17. Vikings win. They're still a game and a half behind us, but we got to see that Washington, when in doubt, will be Washington and fall flat on their face. Washington had a chance to get over 500. Instead of being 4-5, be 5-4. They could have had a good opportunity. They still have an opportunity for one of these last wildcard spots. There's a scenario in which all 4 NFC East teams make the playoffs. But the Eagles sitting pretty at the number 1 spot, having the playoffs go through Philly is still my number 1 priority. But we are going to talk about the Washington Commanders matchup this week, how much they changed. Chase Young will be back. How their defense and offense, the similarities and the changes from week 3 to week 10, I believe we are in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Eagle Nation, about it all. Plus, let me know your thoughts on Odell Beckham possibly going to the Dallas Cowboys. Are you nervous? Are you scared? Or do you not care? You know what I think? I don't care. He's hurt. What are you going to get, a 65% Odell Beckham? I ain't worried about that. Our secondary's locked down. Leave all your thoughts in the comment section, Philly Nation. I greatly appreciate it. Also, hit the like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. Subscribe. We're like 40 subscribers away from 27K. Ding the bell. Check the link. We are out. Peace.